Good morning, good morning. Friday, end of another week. Hard top. What you see behind you is a mind went mad, or something similar. I'm going to call it tribal art. Believe it or not, I'm still waiting on this other bench. I've not really got, I'm not fixed with that yet as such, but so we've been playing around. I had a foot scraper to make, and so I started away with that, and the pieces are waiting to go and get welded for it. I don't do the welding. I did try it once upon a time, but I wasn't terribly successful, and so I just leave that to somebody else now. But it started with that, and ended up with this behind you. Oh gee, yeah, I thoroughly enjoy this carry on, but it can take over your whole bloody being at times, like, you know. But yeah, rubbish. But all bits and pieces that are lying around and that kind of thing, and just have a bit of fun with it. And so, yes, so work in progress. We don't really probably join the rest of the stuff that I make and don't do much with. But it uses up all the bits and pieces, and that you have a bit of fun and that kind of thing. And so it is enjoyable. That's it. But yes, I'm waiting on Lola. Lola's coming today. I'm getting rid of all my young trees, my bits and pieces that I've gathered through the years, but she's coming in particular for wych elm. Which I've had for a few years now, but there's needing to go in the ground now or be potted up, one of the two, and I've not got the space to plant them, and I've certainly not got the pots and stuff. This is them here. This is one of them. I've also got sycamore and some holly, weeping willow. Yeah, I've got a few of them alongside other willow cuttings and whatnot. So I'm busy. I'm just going to I've advertised them very cheaply to get them away, because my ability to get up and down now, to bend and back up and down, back and forward, I'll just go away from that altogether, like, you know, and concentrate on what keeps us at the one level. That'll do fine, like, you know. But yes, but yeah, make of it what you will, because I don't really know. Tribal art, I'm going to call it Scottish tribal art. But the wych elm, no, the wych elm's a real interesting tree altogether. Worth certainly looking up, and very popular tree, and it's funny enough, it's coming from Edinburgh to get them. But a real popular tree in Edinburgh at one time. It was quite a mid-Victorian. There were quite a lot of them planted. It's still susceptible to Dutch elm. Not as easily as the field elm, but it still can get affected by it. But the beetle doesn't like the bark so much. Having said that, we've got quite a bit of ash dieback now round about us. I do see that creeping in. But I remember when I was a young lad, the Dutch elm, and there were stop put on movements of elm about the country and all the rest of it. But and a lot of it had to be burnt and that kind of thing. It's a beetle that gets in there, and away it goes. But the wych elm is when it dies up back, there's a fungi takes over in the bark that actually prohibits long-term use of the beetle. The beetle, once the fungi takes over in the bark of the tree and around It's Vito doesn't like it at all, so that's it. But very interesting, marvellous thing, believe it or not. Medicinal too. It's great. All these things have a medicinal bit to them, or most of them anyway, and that's really interesting. I can't remember much of it. It's something to do with the inner bark of the tree. It was used, and it was used up until quite recently in a herbal kind of thing. I don't know about nowadays or not, like, you know. But yes, so that's that. She's coming after lunch. When lunch is, I don't really know. I asked her, I said, when are you coming? Well, after lunch. Oh, I don't know when lunch is. We'll wait and see. Like, depends what time she has her lunch, I suppose. But I'm going to be here most of the day anyway. So it doesn't cost too much of a hiccup in terms of, right? But it's amazing what you learn when you start looking up these things. The reason I gathered these was they're difficult to get hold of. I mean, obviously they were a lot smaller when I got them. Normally the deer population grazes all these things. These are from seed. It's really, there's another way of propagating them, but really the best way is from seed. And naturally, seed down. But what happens is once they all shoot away, and they do seed well if it's in the right bit, they all come away, but the deer population tend to raise them right off. But this elm in particular that I found, it was purely by accident too, very close to a place where there was a lot of activity going on, and it put the deer off. There was just too much activity around about that area, and so I gathered a few of them, and like I do, I always come back with something in the pocket, like, you know. But when I was looking it all up, and I came across a really interesting story about who put Bella in the witch elm. There is two ways of spelling this witch. A lot of it's spelled as you would expect, but there's other ones, W-Y-C-H. And the interesting story was who put Bella in the witch elm. And this was a body that was discovered in the hollow section of an elm after the Second World War. By some lads who were busy doing a little bit of bird nesting and whatever it be. Anyway, they'll run on a estate that they shouldn't have been on and whatnot and that, and climbing up into this tree, looking down into the hollow part of it, discovered the skeletal remains of a woman who I reckon had been in there 2 or 3 years. By the time they got her out and all the rest of it, and it's an interesting. There's 2 or 3. They never actually discovered who the woman was. It was said after the war there was that many people disappeared during the war, and after that they just couldn't find who this woman was. Like, you know, put a name to her, despite dental records and this kind of thing and whatnot. They just couldn't manage it. So it's still an ongoing mystery to this day. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, you should look it up. But yes, but that's about it. So we'll go. Where do you go with this kind of thing at the back of me here? Yeah, just the mind plays. You just go. It is a form of playing. It is. That's how you can play when you're older. I think, certainly for me anyway. Like, you know, it's good for you just to do things that make no bloody sense whatsoever. Like, you know, somebody somewhere might like it. You never know, man. But this is going to be part of a bird feeder, this one. And I also cast in the back there, I cast a dome He's part of the dome thing. We've got to cast a concrete kind of base for, so it's going to get something and be up on. This was originally going to be part of it, but then it changed, and we've put this on top of it. So yes, probably my van coming to get me some stuff. Men with white coats, straight jacket, take me away. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. A bit nippy. The sun's going to pop through, I think, though. It's going to be all right, and we'll get a little walk round later on. Yeah, the wych elm. Really, then the other thing, of course, is the Gaelic for Loch Lomond is, and it's associated with the elm, the Lake of the Elms. Well, there's another bit of useless information. Add to it, that's it. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. Sticks, yeah, we're still actually. Well, I tell you this, or well, I don't really know. We'll see. I had a business proposition put to me there the other day there by, I'll not say who, but needless to say, it wasn't really. He is a bit of a businessman too, which is it made it worse. But he asked me to think about it. I said, I don't need to think about it. I said, I'm not, dude. So that's it, like, you know. I put it out there on video, but I don't know who would embarrass. I think it would embarrass him more than anything else by actually telling what it was all about. But it was, and yesterday when I was walking around it, I kept busting into laughter with the bloody thing, like, you know. I think it's more like robbery rather than a business proposition. But, well, oh, there you go. Timing's spot on. But it kept me amused yesterday afternoon as I wandered round. I went, what gee whiz almighty. There's always something comes along. But needless to say, we'll not be taking part in that because, and I don't think we'll ever see him on Dragon's Den or The Apprentice or whatever it may be, like, you know, because I don't think that would work. Anyway, all the best. I hope that was a little bit of interest. Catch you again. Cheers.